Hello all, just want to do a quick video on this overview before I get started for today. First and foremost, if you're seeing this on YouTube, you could actually find the link right in here. It's going to be an overview. I'll probably put a date on it. But in any event, what I wanted to do is just go over the new settings here really quickly. So you go to new chart. We're using ES only for right now. We're working on the other markets, but as you know, every market's a little different. So we're working on a range. The 4 is going to be the fast scalper, I guess, if you call it. There are options. You could use the 8 or even the 21 if you're going to go with a higher time frame, but beware, trade management, obviously, stops are going to be a lot bigger. And that's pretty much basic it. So when you get to your blank chart, first thing that you could do, well, you should probably install it. If you haven't done so already, you would need to go to Tools. You may, if you get an error, you should be able to install it right away with newer versions, because I think I've made some changes in it. But in the event you're having problems, you might have to go to Remove Ninja Assembly. And if you have the old version in there, you'll have to get it out. Oh, I didn't have it in here. Oh. So you'll have to get it out and remove it first. But in any event, when it is in there, then you can just install it normally. So then indicators, traders Alexa, right there. Okay. So this is the way it comes in as a default. I try to make it so it has the default values in here, but I didn't, and it was way late, and I went to bed, and I know there were some more changes after I left, but anyway, I like the short myself and the long rather than ES long and short. It just takes more time to say, and I want quick. So I use the long and short, which can be found right here also under audio files, long and shorts. So for right now, you have to put it in here, and if you have a problem with not hearing that, let us know in social hour, because we're thinking it might have something to do on your end. So, because I know some people get them and some people don't. So we just want to check to see how you're unloading those and where you're putting them. So we'll go from there. Okay, so that's enough for the sound. So the next one is going to be the chart background. Right now it's defaulted to off, and this is all the new section here. So I definitely want it on. If you want to see all plots, setups, then you can just leave this off and not do anything at all. But as we all have proposed, is that using a higher time frame. So rather than having a higher time frame chart that you have to look at, you could just click the paint background. And when you put in a higher time frame, we're using currently the 8 and the 13. When you put in a higher time frame, then it will be included in there with the background. So when you have a green background, that means that these background colors are in match. Red is in match for this, so you don't even have to think about it. You're going to go up or long based on these higher time frames. And again, if you don't have that checked at all, then it's just going to be based on the current 4-range chart, which might be a little too soon. Unless you're running an 8-range chart, then you might be able to turn it off, or you can even go bigger with these up to 21. And that's it, really. Everything else is done. Basically is right here and sound. These are all just standard Ninja business. So I'll say okay. Now the other thing that we're trying to get rid of right here is the panel. For some reason, when we try to go in there and make display and remove that panel, this is what happens right there. It shrinks up. We're trying to figure out why. We spend a little time on it, but it'll come eventually. So in the meantime, we need to have it on the second panel right there. And there's nothing in there now because it's all on here. So you could actually just shrink it down like that, and you don't even need it. Eventually it'll be gone. And that's it. And then if you want to save this now, if you go to the indicators again, if you save this as your default right here, just say save as default, then it will save all these settings at that point. That's it. So without further ado, what we've done is that panel, if you're familiar with those arrows and the early warning signal square, was down at the bottom, but now that we've removed that, we've put it there. I personally like it on the bar because it draws your attention right there, and obviously you wouldn't have it that small, so it probably be something looking like that. But you could obviously see it. Your eye is fixed on the bar, and you see the warning there. And so that just tells you that, you know, if things set up and continue in the way they are, that it will trigger an arrow. The other thing that I forgot to mention is the indicators. Now, we tried to install the EMA in here, but it wasn't working, and we just thought it'd be easier for everybody to add their own indicators. The only one that we recommend is the 55 EMA. I take the label out so I don't get all the parameters up there. And that's it, just a standard EMA indicator. Well, you can change whatever colors you want, however you want to do that. But you can see that if things set up correctly, one price gets to this moving average, then it'll follow with an arrow. And if it doesn't follow with an arrow, that obviously means that the early warning was just a warning, and it didn't turn into an actual trade. So it's still a work in progress. I know he's working on it, and I'm trying to find one. There's one here, but you can see this is a chop box, so you know you may or may not want to do that. Here I'm trying to find a square. There's an early warning there. So again, it's a work in progress. It's not there yet, but it's coming. But in any event, you could tell that obviously if it's transparent, that means there's no mismatch. You know, there's a mismatch. Rather, one of the charts are in the opposite direction of each other, but because they both have to be in a downward position to get your bias down, and the same for the green. As far as any other indicators you'd like, I know a lot of people use other things. You're more than welcome to add whatever you want on here. I know some people use the standard MACD. You could certainly do that if you'd like. And there's our panel again. I'm going to get rid of that. But, you know, that's totally up to you if you want to use it or not. I personally like clean is better. I like it clean. So this is the chart. As far as the ATM strategies, you know, this is, I know there's been talk and we've shared some strategies and some templates. This is pretty much up to the individual as far as, you know, how many you're trading, if you're trading micros, multiples, and you're scaling off, scaling on, whatever the case may be. It's kind of totally up to you. So we're going to leave it at that, and we're constantly changing it and tweaking it. And I know there's a couple guys in there that are doing some serious tweaking and statistical numbering to find out what the best settings are. The only other last thing I have then would be the status box that we're in, because I personally don't like this bar. It takes up too much room, especially if you're having multiple charts. So if you go to tools and you go to status box, you could download it here. You can watch some videos and whatever, but you could download it here for free. And once you install it as normal, you can put it on your, oh, I'm sorry, it's not an indicator. It is a drawing tool. So it's going to be under your drawing tools right here, status box. Now I have mine set to a hotkey, so all I do is hit Alt-1, boom, it goes right there. And then if you click in the corner here somewhere, you'll get the actual parameters settings of what it is. You could turn, if you don't want to plot these things, the ATM strategy and the time and all that, you could turn them off. If you'd like to move it around on your chart, you can do that kind of thing. You could change the colors, etc. I don't like to have the big box around it, the outline, so that's it's all personal preferences. And then obviously however you want to see it that way. I like to see them all on, and you notice right here at a glance, I'm using Sim 101 and the ATM strategy, which I don't have any, and obviously you would want something there. So if you go back into Chart Trader, this is where it gets its data. So let's say I just do that right there, and you'll see that it goes there. Now you could force it to be smaller if you want, by doing something like that, and then that way it will move up and down a little bit. And if you want to make it, I don't know, let's say 6 ticks. You could shrink it that way a little bit. And if you want the max size characters, you can, say that, and you can chop it off a little bit. But anyway, I think the defaults are fine. So that way you can kind of see it. And if you don't want to see it, you just unplot it, take off ATM strategy, and you won't even see it at all. So that's your business. So in any event, so once that's on, you can just hide this again because we don't need it. It's all right here. So that's pretty much it for right about now. This is the way we're going to run with it for right now. And feel free to make suggestions. You could even put comments in the video. It would be great. And I know the early warning audio signal and the early warning plotting is still a work in progress. We're also trying to get these arrows a little bit bigger, a little bit more prevalent. So that's just a work in progress. Also, we did move them up and down depending. So we moved them closer to the bar. But needless to say that, again, all work in progress. So that's where we're at. And happy hunting.